Augustus, formerly known as Nikko Lafre. New track title, Drive. First reaction, let's get it.
I went on a drive seeking out results. Should I say it's poor? But of course, take a proceeds and invest in real estate. Latest time fashion, I'm no longer up to that. Wasted too much cash on clothes of that I wash my head. Kept the pen, kept the rose, all else I wash my head. I'll eat this morning, play a bowl or else I wash my hands. Know what? I wash my hands. Damn right, I wash my hands. I hear crowds release the hounds. I hear the growl.
So, right off the bat, I can definitely tell you, in case if you think, let me just break it down to y'all. For those that knew him as Nikko Lafre, a dude who was just a straight up rapper, spitter, he's going under a different identity. He's kind of focusing on the side of himself that was born in Liberia and grew up there. So he's going by the term of calling himself an African. He's not considering himself, you know what I mean, like an an American or anything like that. Which is crazy. I mean, he grew up in Minneapolis, DC. I mean, spent some time in DC and in Miami as well. But yeah, that's not where his mindset is at now more. He's not thinking like an American. He's thinking more like an African. So because of that, he's gonna start singing like this, and he's gonna try to sound like he's African. That's what he's trying to go for. So in a sense, he's trying to do some kind of like world music type of feel or vibe. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's where his mindset is at. I mean, lyrically, like you could still hear some things about him that he kind of used to do when he used to sing nonchalantly when he was under the mindset of being an American. But yeah, but like, just keep in mind, he's completely flipped his mindset, and now he's trying to think like an African instead of like an actual American, because he kind of grew up in this country. I mean, so to me, I think like it's cool to pay homage from where you at. Like I was born in LA, so no matter what, I always say I got ties to LA, but I'm also not ignorant of the fact that I grew up in Las Vegas. So safe to say, like I always say in my lyrics, you know, I was born an angel, but was raised among sinners, in a sense. So like you can't kind of forget like where you're from, and you have to kind of mix everything together. So yeah, there's gonna be a part of me that's gonna rep LA, but also part of me that's gonna rep Sin City, and then wherever city I might be based, I might give them a shout out, like Southside Phoenix. You know what I mean? But either way, that's the thing I think is what might be lacking, in my opinion, for Nico's direction is the fact that he's completely ignored the fact of the times that he spent growing up in the United States, and he's only focused on presenting himself as a brand as being like 100% pure African because he was born there. But to me, like I said, that's where I feel like it's kind of faulty, and kind of like where I think at some point really you're kind of disrespecting a part of yourself, a part of the heritage of you growing up in America. So to me, it's like you're branding yourself as American, as an African. It's not a complete lie, but at the same time, you're not being fully truthful, like being 100% like you essentially. So it's like you're only being a part of you that existed in a certain time frame, and you're ignoring like the rest of, like, I want to say at least the majority of the time frame. From what I've read, the interview he did with Hot in Hip Hop, he grew up and was raised in Minneapolis, Minnesota, and of course moved on to DC, where he did try to go for D1 divisional football, but he suffered a career-ending injury, But regardless though, I just think that that's the one thing I think Nikko needs to kind of like influence back into his life. Is like, don't forget the fact that you are American as well. Like, I'm a first generation American. I don't forget the fact that my parents have raised me in the Eritrean culture. Eritrean and Ethiopian, really, basically, same shit. But I don't forget the fact that I was also raised here in the United States, and that I'm American as well. So it's like, you gotta add all of these at once. So because the fact that he's focused on being African, I feel like he's not truly being genuine of an artist with the sounds that he's trying to do right now, as much as he thinks he is. But then again, I've also seen African culture have a strong influence of ignorance too. So, you know what I mean? I'm not here really to bash the dude. Look, at the end of the day, take pride where you came from. You know what I mean? Like I said, I'm proud of the fact that my parents immigrated here in America, you know, at a teenage year, really, and avoided a civil war to make a life for themselves in America. I'm proud of what they did. I'm proud of the fact that I have Eritrean background and Ethiopian from my mom's side in my life, but at the same time, I'm proud to be an American as well. So it's like, you got to incorporate everything, every aspect of your life. And if you try to neglect and forget the other part and just say, oh, I'm African, but you're gonna neglect the fact that you're American, then you're really you know what I mean, you're just playing yourself, and you're kind of cautioning yourself to really be the best you that you can be as an artist. So I think that's what Nikko's really lacking right now, and I'm hoping that he sees this and actually gets a wake-up call, man. Because honestly, like I said, it's cool you want to make music, dog. I think it's just the mindset where you're at. You know what I mean? You got to realize that you're more than just African at this point. And if you try to replicate your music on that fact, then you're really missing out on really bringing the best and the most out of your music, if you really want to be the best at doing what you want to do. You know what I mean? So I've already critiqued him before in the past. You know, I'm like one of many people that I feel like his best suit, and really, you know, where he really shines the most, is when he preaches. And I mean, just puts down words of like heavy volume on just lyrics and just spits it out to you. Like, that's really what it feels like. I don't even think he raps. I think he preaches, really. And to me, that's fucking dope. So, you know, I go play something like Lord Knows or whatever, that shit gonna hit me hard. The way he pretty much breaks it down to me, like the fact that he's down to earth, he's humble. That's a part of aspect. Is I think that's the thing you got to realize too, is he's overlooking too. He's too busy focused on this Africa brand that he's forgetting that the qualities he learned from growing up in Liberia, the humility that he had to go through. It's the certain characteristics that we experience is what we need to be putting on our music, not the fact that, oh, I'm this. Like, if I'm Eritrea, I'm not gonna come out here and just do all like, oh, I'm Eritrea this, Eritrea that. Like, no. Like, I'm gonna remember what the culture taught me and what installed me to make me the part, you know, the man that is walking today. So that's what I feel like, where he's kind of misconstrued things in the way that he's putting out his music and describing himself. So for that reason, I feel like his music really is incomplete at best, because he doesn't really know who he is at this point. You know what I mean? He could say he's African, but that's only a part of you, dog. You're gonna neglect the years that you spent here and grew up in America. You can't like just say, oh, I'm only African, and just slash out the rest of the part of your life, man. You can't do that. You know what I mean? Otherwise, you're just plain delusional. So that's just how I feel. And you know what? I'm just gonna wrap it up right here, because yeah, it's only like 2 minutes and 38 seconds. So I only got like 1 minute left. It's all good. Anyways, y'all stay safe, and y'all stay blessed out there. I'll see y'all in the next video. Deuces.